All right, let's get into calculating the mean. So we're going to calculate the mean by hand, and then there'll be another video that will show you guys how you can use Excel to calculate the mean more quickly. But we need to understand what that calculation is doing in order for us to actually understand what it means when it spits out this number. So the mean is also known as the average. It's found by adding all the data values together and dividing by the number of data values. So when we have a sample, remember a sample is a smaller group from the population. If we have a sample of people and we calculate the mean, we are calculating x bar. So the notation for the sample mean is an x with a bar over it. And then this formula, this top piece means sum the data. And then this lowercase n stands for the sample size. So how many data values were there in your data set of this sample? Then the population mean, so this is if we are able to get information from everybody in the population. So the notation, the symbol to represent the population mean is this U with kind of a long tail on the end of it. This is the Greek letter mu. And again, we find that by summing the data. And then now we're dividing by capital N, which stands for the population size. So let's do an example. So we have a sample of 6 students and these are the exam scores from their statistics course, just their first exam. Calculate the mean exam score for these 6 students. So what was the average that these 6 students got? So we were told that this is a sample, and we're typically going to assume it's a sample unless we're told it's a population. So we're calculating x bar. We're going to add all the numbers together, 69 plus 72 plus 81 plus 83 plus 72 plus 91 divided by 6 because we had 6 students. So if we go ahead and do that, I haven't actually done it yet, so I'm doing it right now. So we add all of those up, add them up first, hit enter on your calculator, then hit divided by 6, and you should get 78. So these 6 students had an average test score of a 78. So now, suppose that we had a 7th student that was supposed to be part of this sample, but they didn't take the exam, so they scored a 0. So let's look at what would happen to the mean score if we included that 7th student. So again, we're still looking at a sample from the class, but now we have the 6 students that took the test, and these are their scores. But then we have a 7th student that scored a 0. So we add 0 to the end, and now we're looking at the average of 7 students. So if we include the 7th student, then we end up with 66.86. 66.86. So when we include the 7th student, we see quite a bit of a decrease in the average for this sample. So the mean decreased a lot. And this will always happen. If you add a very small number or a very large number, you're going to see the mean shift a lot because of that number. And we'll talk a little bit more about those shifts that we're going to see in a bit. But this is the basic idea on how to calculate the mean, what it means when we're calculating the mean. It means we're calculating the average. Okay, and that's